These days, whenever you hear the words the ultimate sacrifice, most of us immediately think of a young soldier giving his or her life for their country. Paying that kind of price seems almost inconceivable to us. Yet every day in cemeteries all across the United States, young men and women are buried in flag-draped coffins with full military honors, while family and friends honor their sacrifice and grieve their loss. Did you know that since the birth of our country, over 1,100,000 soldiers have made that ultimate sacrifice for our country? I, for one, am truly humbled by that. Of these million-plus soldiers who made that ultimate sacrifice, a certain percentage died in a way that distinguishes their sacrifice from others who were killed in battle. These are the soldiers who made a voluntary decision to give their lives in order to spare the lives of their fellow soldiers. In my view, this is a whole nother level of sacrifice. Just imagine having to make a split-second decision on the battlefield to save your own life or to save the life of a friend. Behind me is one of the most visited war memorials in the world, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial here in Washington, D.C. If you've ever been here at the Wall, as it's commonly referred to, you know just how moving it is to be here. There are 58,249 names engraved on this black granite wall, the names of men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in the war in Vietnam. Each name represents a life, a story, a family, a shattered dream. Each name brings unimaginable amounts of grief to family and friends when they come to stand in front of this wall. I've been here many times. The names of students from my high school and hometown are etched in this wall. Sometimes when I've stood here, I have seen whole families fall to their knees because of grief that was more than they could bear. Often there's handwritten notes left on the wall or flowers laid against the base of the wall. But few who come here ever leave the same. Today, I want you to look at one name in particular that is engraved on this wall. The name is Milton Olive III. Milton Olive spent his growing up years in Chicago. In fact, there's a small park in downtown Chicago that was built in his honor. Milton joined the military when he was 17 years old, and there was little doubt as to where his orders would send him. Straight to the front lines in Vietnam, where he was baptized by the sound of enemy mortars and gunfire from the moment he arrived. Milton Olive was a member of the 3rd Platoon of Company B, where he befriended 4 other guys who decided to try to stay alive together. This was no easy challenge as they slogged through jungles and rice paddies, dodging bullets and booby traps and landmines. One day, as their platoon was walking single file through a thick jungle, an enemy grenade was lobbed onto the very path Olive and his fellow soldiers were walking. All of the guys noticed that the grenade was live and that in a matter of a few short seconds, most of them would probably be dead. Everyone but Milton froze. In less than a second, Milton grabbed the grenade, tucked it into his midsection, and fell to the ground in an attempt to absorb the full force of it himself. He succeeded. The blast from the grenade killed Milton Olive instantly, but the lives of his buddies were spared. In my view, this is more than the ultimate sacrifice. This is voluntary self-sacrifice for people you love. This is choosing to lay down your one and only life for others. It redefines ultimate sacrifice, or certainly brings it to a whole nother level. Milton Olive's 4 buddies are still all living today: Vince, Lionel, John, and Jimmy. I read an interview with them this past week. One of them said, "I feel like I'm living for two people. I will never forget him." Question: could you forget someone who voluntarily absorbed a grenade blast to spare your life? The Bible says, "Greater love has no man than this, that he lay down his life for a friend." Christ followers all over the world spend considerable amounts of time reflecting on the one who absorbed the grenade blast of crucifixion on our behalf. Like Milton Olive's friends, we will say again and again, "I will never forget him."